Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope everybody is doing well today, and I want to show you these little guys. Say good morning. Aren't they adorable? They're the cutest. So we had one that was hurt and he swam crooked. I called him Lefty, and unfortunately he's in fishy heaven now, but I felt so bad for him. He was the cutest. He was my favorite one because he had a disability and he still kept going. So with that being said, if there's something wrong or you feel like something's wrong with you or not good enough, you are one of the favorite people in this world. So don't let that hinder you. My message today is about how our surroundings can hurt us and will hinder us and keep us stagnant in life. And I heard this message and was like, oh my gosh, how amazing is that? So fleas, everybody knows that fleas jump, right? So a flea can jump up to 100 times its size, right? Like up to 2 feet tall. High rather. They can jump, like fleas jump, right? And that's just what they do. But if you put them in a container with a lid on it, they will jump and hit their head, right, on that container for a few times, and then eventually start to believe that they can only jump, like they'll start to jump like right underneath hitting their head. And the flea will believe then that that's as high as it can jump. So even though in reality it can jump up to 2 feet high, if you put it in a container, it's only going to jump however many inches that container is. And that's going to be its new belief system. And that's as high as it's ever going to go. And I was like, how relevant is that in life? Like, I remember growing up, I mean, people that know me know, but those thought it was going to lose you. I grew up in an area that was very, 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 very poverty stricken. Okay, everybody had a scarcity mindset, and all I knew was I wanted to get the hell out of there and get as far away from that life as possible, because nothing good comes from that mentality, right? You're kind of stuck in this little circle, and I knew that I wanted more in life. And it was hard for me to picture what that would look like while I was still in it, right? So growing up, I don't know how old I was, maybe 16, I don't know, maybe 17, I don't recall exactly. But I know that I got in a disagreement with my mom, and she basically kicked me out and was like, I'm done, don't come back, right? Change the locks, you're on your own. And at that time, it was like my world crumbled and crushed. And I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do now, right? Like, how could somebody do this to their child, blah, blah, blah. And I was stuck in victim mode and poor me mentality. And long and behold, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, right? It really was. And there's a lot of things that I went through growing up that I felt at the time were curses, or were like, poor me, how could somebody do that to me type of stuff. But it ended up being the best thing that could have happened to me at that time, because it made me grow, and it made me do things that I didn't know I was capable of doing. So it got me out of that environment and gave me a chance to spread my wings, so to speak. Now, just because that happened doesn't mean that I was away from all of the people in that time or in that area, because I wasn't. And I remember that there were a lot of people, and they mean well, they have good hearts, and I love them, and I'm in the this isn't possible mentality. And I remember hearing people, I say, why don't you go get a new car, to someone, right? I'm thinking of somebody in particular. Why don't you go get a new car? Because they were driving a car that was really old, it kept breaking down, and they were at a point that they would say, I can't afford that, or, no, I can't afford that, and believe that. And I remember saying, who told you you can't afford that? Why can't you, right? Your house is almost paid off. Yeah, you get X amount of money a month. But what bills do you have? Yes, you absolutely can afford it. And thankfully, they were able to realize that and go get a new car and be able to drive something that they're proud of. But it made me think of how many times do we tell ourselves that something's not possible, or that we can't afford something, or that we can't have something because of our environment and because of the things that the people around us said and instilled in us, right? And it just happens. And this person was a grown adult, like over 50 years old. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I love you more than anything, right? But I don't want that to be me. I don't want to live in, I can't, or this is impossible, or I can't afford this, or I can't have that. I don't want to live in that mentality. And I don't want anybody I know to live in that mentality either, because anything is possible, right? One of the best things I ever heard was 100% is possible 100% of the time. And I'm like, how amazing is that, and how true is it? It absolutely freaking is. It doesn't matter what other people say. Of course, people would say, you can't have this, you can't have that. If I told somebody before I was going to have X, Y, or Z in my life, or I was going to be able to do these things, that person in particular would have said, no, that you're crazy, or that's not possible, or just like shunned it and just basically tried to make me small and keep me in a box that they were in. And thank God that I didn't stay there, and I knew that anything was possible, and that I was meant for more, because I wanted it. And I developed myself and programmed myself and disciplined myself enough to stop doing anything that would have made me undeserving of something, right? Like, I made a video the other day about even just taking like a pen from somewhere. If you said, can I borrow this, right? Taking something that doesn't belong to you. Somebody giving you too much money, right? Do you keep it, or do you do the right thing when nobody is looking and give it back, right? Because it's not about what somebody sees or what somebody knows. It's about what you know, what you see, and what your creator sees, right? Because God sees everything. Whether you're into the God thing or not, that's none of my business, and I love you anyway. But if you're not, just look at it as the universe, right? Something is always going to see you, no matter what it is. Now, it's not to shame you, right? It's just to help you discipline yourself and correct whatever may not be working in your life, so you're able to live free and say, no, I absolutely deserve the best life possible. I absolutely deserve the car of my dreams, the house of my dreams, the husband of my dreams, the children of my dreams. I deserve it, all because you're a good person and you give good. We all are capable of that, right? We absolutely are. To have an environment that you feel is holding you back. Everyone is capable of going after theirs. Abso-freaking-lutely, Giselle. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And the good news in a lot of situations, and it doesn't feel like it during that time or during that process, but I know for me, in my transition in life, it hurt like hell to have my fantasy destroyed of my daughter growing up in a family with both of her parents together, whatever the case may have been in my mind at that moment. It hurt for that to be destroyed, right? But I thank God that happened. I thank God that happened, because He had so much more in store for me, right? So my point in that is, if somebody leaves you, or somebody doesn't see the worth in you, or doesn't see you at your highest, thank God for that. It's hard to say, and it sounds ironic, and when you're in the pain, I totally get it. I know, I was there. But hold on to the hope that everything is working in your favor, right? God sees things that we don't see. He sees conversations that happen behind our back. He sees when people are not for us. And it hurts like hell, trust me, I know. I don't want to say I've lost. God allowed everyone in my life to distance themselves from me. The closest people to me, the closest ones to me, people I thought I could never live without. He allowed them to distance themselves. And for me to be, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but to me to be rerouted in another direction, right? And it hurt. And I did sit in self beat up for a moment. You know, why don't they love me? Why am I not good enough? Whatever the heck our minds want to tell us at the time. But I thank God that I just kept leaning in and kept trusting. Even though I didn't in the beginning, it was hard. It's hard to trust something you don't see. So I would just say, God, please help me trust you. Please help me trust that this is rigged in my favor. Please help me trust that this is working out for my good. Please help me trust that you have better plans for me. Because I knew in my heart that I didn't deserve to be treated the way that I was treated. I knew in my heart I had good intentions, and I knew in my heart that I would never do the things those people were doing to me, to them. So I knew in my heart that I started to believe rejection was for my protection. And if somebody didn't see the good in me, then God was. And I'm absolutely okay with that now, because he has more amazing people now in my life that are like family, right? They are absolutely like family. And they're so amazing that, like, the other day I had to write a gratitude list, and a lot of the new people in my life were on that list. And it's just, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for everything that he has taken. I'm grateful for everyone that he has taken, and everything that he has given me, and everyone that he has given me in replace of those people, because it's more amazing than I could have ever imagined. And it's absolutely possible for everyone else as well, right? I am not that much like different from anyone. I'm not, right? I came from nothing. Just like a lot of people I know, we came from struggle and from pain and from trauma. Okay. So as I was saying, when innocent children grow up in dysfunction and pain and trauma, it hurts. It absolutely freaking hurts. But if you were one of those children, I want you to know that he is going to bless you abundantly for that, right? He takes the unwanted because there is a queen in you. And it's going to take people like myself and people like you guys to rise up and to be able to understand that, believe that, and help other people too, right? And experience the freedom that is possible for you. I want everybody to have it. And I thank God there's one woman in particular that has helped me tremendously to uncover and unclutter all of the stuff that was hiding my strength and my inner courage and stuff, because all of that weight gets buried on that, and we can forget who the heck we are, right? But God will put people in our lives to help us unclutter all of that, so we can become clear on who we are and step into that person. And that's my mission. My mission is to help anybody that knows that they are not where they're supposed to be and that they are destined for more, to help them to clear out what isn't working, and the lies that we've developed over the years, and the things that we have allowed to get into our spirit, to get that stuff out so you can rise up to the woman or man. I love everyone. That's where I am in my life. That I don't care if they've hurt me. I don't care what they've done to me. Like, I love everyone, because I know that that's my number one job, right? Our job is to love. And it's hard to love when we're full of bitter, and we're full of bitterness and resentment and anger and unforgiveness. It's hard. It's hard to love anything. It's hard to even like things, right? When we're living like that. But we don't have to. The good news is we can get that stuff out and become free. So that's what I'm here to do, to help people realize that, and to clear that stuff out so they can feel the joy that I feel, and we can help other people get through their stuff and watch the world transform into happiness. Instead of people driving down the street giving one another the finger and ready to kill each other, they can drive down the street and be like, hi. I want it for everybody. Oh my gosh. So long story short, tomorrow I'm going to have another webinar at 11 a.m. And I want as many people that can join to join, and at least we'll have a one-on-one. It'll be a private environment, right? We won't be live. There's not going to be other people, so you don't have to feel embarrassed or, embarrassed or whatever, maybe covering the scenes and staying in the back row and, you know, being like, oh, I hope nobody sees me, right? We have to stop that. You guys got to stop. It doesn't work. It's not working. That's not who you are. You guys are amazing creatures that are here to help the freaking world change, right? That's what you guys are. I don't want to say creatures. Don't take that the wrong way. Human beings, but you know what I mean. You guys are amazing and powerful people. So tomorrow it will be an environment to where you can step into that and say, hey, this may be what I'm struggling with. Or even if you don't want to say you're struggling with something, you're going to gain something because somebody else is going to ask a question or say something that you resonate with, right? So just, you got to do something though to take a step for you, to decide, choose. I want to be free from whatever I'm feeling that's holding me back so I can be the person I was created to be, because that's what we're all supposed to do. And I hope to see all of you guys there tomorrow. I love you all so very much. And I can't wait to see all of you step into your power and be like, I'm freaking here, right? I am here, and watch the amazingness inside of you guys just start to pour out. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow.